everyone, welcome to Red Carpet with me, Laila Khalid. Lately, me and my friends have been talking about business ideas. But in business and marketing, your values should be really important. They should be what drives you forward. Today, our guest is well-known media, production, and business PR marketing personality, Eram Masood. Let's welcome Eram Masood in our show. Thank you so much, Eram, for joining me in my show, Red Carpet, and I am so delighted to have you today in my show. But my first question is going to be, how are you feeling today?
Thank you, Laila, for having me on your show, which is Red Carpet, which is quite, we have to maybe go environmental friendly, so we might call it green carpet for the future. I'm very well, and thank you for having me. It's so nice to see you, and it's so nice to see you doing so well in life.
Thank you so much. Eram, you are such a well-known person in production, media, and now because I follow you all the time and I see your outstanding, successful work empowering women and also mentoring children, young generation. Describe this. Can you describe all of us? What is it all about?
So in regards to media, obviously that's our connection. It takes us a long time ago. I won't tell the years, but then people will know our ages, so I'm not going to go into that direction. But yes, media will always be a very important part of my life. And like now, I'm still in media, but it's now more digital and social media, right? So it's amazing to always understand that what media can do. I may not be very supportive of the new media policies or the the news content, but I think media is such a social obligation that it should always carry out the best messages. And I know that 80% of the news is just hype and gossip, but the 20% what we do has to be authentic. Coming back to my other role, which started almost like 9-10 years ago, I became an entrepreneur, and I also became a teacher, which was not a part of my thing. But teacher in a way that I don't teach nurseries and primaries, but I teach adults and I teach young people to start their businesses and work with their dreams to come. Like we support. I run a business incubation with a very dear friend of mine. He's a colleague, he's a partner, he's a director, and he is like somebody who we thought that we will empower the new generation. I have more than 1,500 young people I mentor. So, and it's not about me mentoring them, but I think every day I learn something from them. I always say a good teacher is someone who learns every day.
This is amazing. When you talk about 1,500 young people, are they from UK or Pakistan? Because I know you have been mentoring so many young people in Pakistan, which is a really good step, because I believe that it's very difficult for young people to get any opportunities in business. But your work is shown that it has been very helpful to those young adults.
Yeah, I like the way you said that it's very helpful, because it is, because I think people forget. And mentoring doesn't have to be someone, it has to be someone who can understand you. A mentor is someone who has the ability to listen well. If you can speak well, then you should also listen well, I think the mentees that I have are global. I have so many mentees now and young people who we support and guide, and just not in their businesses, but on their daily lifestyle as well. So most of my mentees now are also from Morocco, because I've been there, and Morocco was such an amazing trip, in my life for 7.5 months. By the way, it's just not a honeymoon space. It's also somewhere where you can do a lot of other things. So it was a great opportunity for me to understand, and a very dear friend of mine who's a dean out there, Dr. Asma Abbas, she invited me to be there, and I can always very proudly say that women do support women, because she's a woman and she supported me. And being over there, it was such a great thing to understand that how the younger generation is towards the digital, like the show you do. It should be watched by the young generation to understand that what mentoring is. Somebody like you yourself, because I know you, and I've also interviewed, so I should be interviewing you, that you haven't had an amazing journey. You have mentored a lot of young people as well, and you've become a very good model for a mother who was young and bright, and how people can take a lot of inspiration from you. That's what I tell young people, that if today you can't connect to the young generation, you can't connect to the world. That's about it. So mentoring means a lot of things that you need to understand. You need to understand where they are coming from. When startups come to us, we tell them you will not be successful overnight. You have to make your life in a way that it is sustainable, it's consistent, and the most important part in your life is only you.
This is fabulous, absolutely true. When we talk about young adults and mentoring them, you've been to Morocco for 7 months. Like I said, I was following you and I love your work. Your work is amazing. Of course, you have mentored me as well when I was in Pakistan and UK in media and production. You are also a part of Commonwealth, and lately you were a finalist for a UK Business Awards. Tell us about this.
It is a part of the UK Small Help to Grow Business program, which was amazing. And I think that's where I realized that how important it was for me to connect to the UK ethnic market as well. I mean, I've been in media for the UK ethnic market for 9 years here as well. And that is when, Salim Sheikh, who is like my partner, director and colleague, and I call him my God friend. When he came and I told him that I want to come back to UK and do something. So he was the first one who said, you must come here and you must do something together, and I think that is what is paving the way now to understand that UK does need a change as well, especially London, because London is a home to 1 million, right? It's very difficult when you talk about, the cities in other part of UK are doing well. What about London, where you have, London is a mother to all the children. Whenever you talk about children, it could be anyone out here. There's a diversity here, the very varied diversity, and especially when you are working with somebody who is 21 and wants to become Richard Branson tomorrow morning, right? And when you are 24 and suddenly you decide that you want to launch your own businesses and you want to launch a product called Huda Beauty or somewhere or the other. So these are the things that you face out here. People speak to you about it. They want to become social entrepreneurs as well. They want to do something that is called start their own podcast, start your own YouTube channel. So there are lots of things that people, and that is the part which I saw in the last 10 months or so. In Morocco, I saw that people are very, very, digital savvy. They know a lot about it. They know it in their own language of French, which obviously, coming to the UK part, which is help to grow small businesses, I realized that any business could be a business as long as you know how to work around the things.
There must be so many challenges, and during your journey of mentoring all these adults and also in the business production as well. How do you face your challenges?
That's so interesting, Laila, because challenges are such a thing that, it depends on the different levels of challenges. Because when you are even at 10 years ago when I left my job, my mother was like, what will you do now? Because for her it was more about how will I make money, right? How will I support myself? But she never realized that, and probably I also didn't know what to do, because when people used to ask me, what will you do? I said, I don't know, I'll just start a business. And obviously my business was a failure, so, because I had no idea. And then I said, no, I'll only do something that I'm good at. So I'm good at connecting people. I have a very strong PR network. I'm very good in my marketing. I can speak well. I may not look well at times, but I can speak well all the time. But this is how I took the thing. Challenges today is very difficult because the mental health problem has become a very strong element and a component in the younger generation. So, I always tell people, especially the generation from my age, you are very younger than I am, but I still tell people that, listen to the young generation. If you don't listen to them, whenever they call your, I mean, I would sit down with my own nieces and nephew who are very dear to me, and I have a very young team as well. So like Pine is surrounded with very young team mentors, the team itself, the ground-based team itself. And sometimes, like yesterday, they were all giving me shut up calls and saying this is not the right way to do it. So I thought, yes, one of my challenges is now coming up to convince my own team. So challenges are not just you don't have money or you don't have any good clothes to wear. What is happening in the world is a challenge itself. Like I tell my in my lectures these days, the world is not difficult anymore. It's very different now. So when you use the word different, the challenges come automatically. So I won't say that what challenges I have a challenge every day too. Sometimes I have a challenge every minute to, see how it is. We had challenges, like even weather can be a challenge any time of the day.
When we talk about mental health, like you were talking about mental health, especially in the young generation, yes. How do we tackle this issue in young generation? Because sometimes it's quite difficult for them to reach their parents because every parent has a different perspective about their future. They want them to be a doctor, lawyer, maybe they want to be something else. Like you said, you have mentored 1,500 young adults. How do they come across you? How do you feel to tell them to bring the best out of them?
So when you said, Laila, that it's young adults, I like the word because it's only not just the younger generation, it's also adults like you and I who also have a lot of mental issues or mental, like some sort of a depression or something. But when we go out to speak to people, they don't take us seriously. Because they think, she's probably like, at my age, they'll probably think, ab isko kya problem hai? What problem does she have? So that's a normal,
yes.
And that is why I've stopped sharing anything with people. So that is why I've become more of a listener now. So like, I obviously for very confidential matters, I can't disclose some of my mentees. I would not disclose any one of them, but 2 of them became very closer to me in the last 6-7 years, and I saw how they were going through. And I'm also the Pond's mentor as well because I'm a Pond's miracle woman as well. So, I had a lot of females to empower there. And majority of the females that came to me was so sad, Laila. They were like not allowed to study. They were not allowed to buy a smartphone, So these are you remember when we went to Interior Sin to do a documentary?
Yes, I do remember.
We did have that issue that they said, please don't take our photos because we're not allowed to upload them. So these are the issues sometimes you need to, and that's not just in remote areas. It's also in the cities, the urban life that we live in and where we have grown up, right? And you never know, the person sitting next to you is already going through some sort of a problem. How do you deal with this? That you become a good listener. You let them speak and you can't judge people. Why would I judge anyone? I mean, we do judge people. I mean, we're not some saints and I won't say that I'm like the clone of Mother Teresa or someone, but I would still judge people in a very different manner. But I would not take out something that I have my own shortcomings. I'm not perfect, and thank God I'm not perfect because otherwise it would be difficult. It's still very difficult to find a match, but then it would have been very difficult. So, but yeah, finding a young person with no problems is not the point right now. How to tackle these issues, like, and by the way, it's nice that we have this platform, but it's just not the money that is the issue anymore. It is much more than money right now. Money is just the hub, and you have channels and distribution channels that work around that. And I don't think that I have ever come across anyone in the startup businesses that they only say that, okay, we went to speak to our parents and our parents said, like you said, a very good point, why do you want to do your business? Why you'll have loss. Before even they start, you tell them that they will have loss. I've been in the business. I may have not made millions or any money in some parts of the month, but that doesn't mean that I stop doing, because if I stop doing it, then I will have a problem.
Do you have issues when you are working in Pakistan by empowering women? Because education is very important.
Yes, it is.
And it allows you to understand how to live your life, how to make decisions about your health and other aspects of life. Is there any obstacle and like challenges which are very difficult you have faced in Pakistan?
When you compare a country with any country with Pakistan, the challenges are very, very small to the obstacles, and because also support, because I remember when I went in 2017 and when I shifted to Pakistan, when you came and stayed with us, you saw how difficult life was there, because first they will always say that, oh, औरत है तो रो के काम कराएगी, but that's not the point anymore. There are lots of other things that could be put into place. I was struggling so badly because first in Pakistan, I have very famous friends. I know the who's and who in Pakistan, but I've never used my friends to do any part of the work, and I think that is why they're still my friends. But as a woman, I faced a lot of challenges, also just not in the workplace, but also around the normal stance, going out here. I go to all events alone. How many times we have gone alone to, but in Pakistan, I had to find someone to go with me, because walking and by the way, what you see on the Instagram and everything is very different, but I had an issue. I could not go and watch a movie alone. Here I could go and watch a movie alone and all that stuff. But there are challenges, and even if you go, they might even think, oh, she's either crazy or there's something else behind
Something
it.
else, yeah.
So there's always fishy about it.
Exactly.
But the challenges were great, and there'll always be challenges, especially when you want to go out. But I think I'm very different to that. There's one thing I take a lot of credit. I've always done what I've done and I wanted to do in life. So the only people who matter around me are the people of that moment. I don't live in my past. I live in my present. If the future comes, it's fine. Otherwise, it's a happy day.
We were just talking about Pakistan when I stayed with you, and I want to tell my audience that you also have a lovely sense of humor. And I think I got to know so many well-known celebrities because of you, and then you mentoring me in Pakistan how to be in the media and production was an experience for me. You're also very strict to me as well.
I am very strict, yes. But like I said, I'm only strict to the people. With a great sense of humor. Yeah, but I'm only strict to the people I care about, right? But because I'll tell you something, Laila. If a single woman is strict and she's organized and she's disciplined, she's not bothered about anything else. I am very organized in my life. So, I just need to be, I can always pack up my bag and go to another city or another place. I will not do something. And I've seen people, talking about Pakistan, even in the UK now, things are very different, I've come back after 7 years to stay back in this city. This city has given me good 16 years of love, freedom, music, Bollywood, Lollywood, everything. And I've enjoyed those. And there were times when I used to miss London, especially walking on the road in Pakistan was such a big problem. They don't even look at you. पता नहीं आगे से मुंह देख लें तो शायद हॉर्न ना बजाएं, but पीछे से तो सभी हॉर्न बजाते हैं. So there's a huge difference.
I actually like that.
And I just think that it's difficult for somebody to come from a culture where you're here, where you just pick up your bag and go, and then in Pakistan you have to wait. Okay, beta, can you drop me somewhere? Can you pick me from somewhere? So these things.
Yeah.
Thanks to some of the private now cab services you have, but still, in terms. So I always say there's a lot of difference between independence and freedom. So if there's a fine line between independence and freedom, freedom is the choice you make. Independence is the place that I can't walk around from a bus W20 to a house in Pakistan, but I can come out of a night bus in London and I can walk to my house.
London is much safer than Pakistan.
Much safer, but we still have issues in London now. Yeah.
In Pakistan, there's a very particular mentality when we talk about single parents, like single mother like me, single mother like you. The mentality about being a single mother can be very toxic. It's like a very toxic community when they point out single mother if they try to develop themselves, if they try to educate themselves, if they want to explore themselves in a business way, in a good way. Is it changed? Because I have seen you giving lectures and going to events and empowering women Is it changed or is it still the same? Or people just say, you know what, just be quiet, this is what we want, because we're living in a Pakistan and we can't do what exactly we want to achieve?
I think single mothers are much, sadly, they are increasing a large number. They have a large increase in their numbers in Pakistan as well. But I don't know. I mean, I can't say, even in UK, you've lived all your life here. Even a single mother or a single parent, just not talk about mothers, women, we don't want to be gender specific, but even a single father would have a lot of difficulties because they would also, you know, judge him for that reason. So I'm a very gender, neutral sort of a diversity fight in that way. And I feel that Pakistan is now changing. In the last year and a half, things were amazing in the way that I've seen growing. Obviously, Pakistan is, and the younger generation in Pakistan is much more, clean and clear in their ideas. So that is why I think my biggest, connection and anything that can take me back to Pakistan, obviously besides my own children, would always be the younger generation that I've been with. So Pakistan for me now is more about the students that I've studied with, the students that I've taught, the mentors. Indus Valley was a huge experience for me, such an amazing, it's like my go-to place. So I've learned so much, and a very different and a very brighter side of Pakistan.
I'm really enjoying this interview, and I wish we can just talk all day, not all night, because we're going to start feeling hungry as well, because the time is short, and I would like you to give a fantastic, powerful message to my young audience and also to adults just like me. Let's not talk about the age here.
Thank you, Laila. First of all, thank you to the whole team and your platform here. But yes, the only message that I always give the people out there is something that I do every day. I'm not a celebrity figure, but I'm a personality, and I've changed myself for the better. So if there's one thing you can do, is always change for the better. And no one is going to come and tell you this, but you have to do it yourself. And the younger generation today, you just need to know that one thing in life, and that is to be kind. If you are kind, you're intelligent. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching Red Carpet today with me, Laila Khalid, with my guest Eram Masood, and I will see you next week, Wednesday, with my another guest. By then, goodbye from me.